This is my 16th video in my Color and Light series, and it's about interesting lines. And it's all in my book, The Art Instruction Course, where the Kindle is only $5. We read artwork the same way we read a book, from left to right. So movement seems easier going from left to right and harder from right to left. Imagine walking through this wheat field from left to right. The grass facing this way seems to be going with the grain, easier to walk through, whereas the grasses this way seems to resist our ability to walk through it. So this one is easy and this one is harder, and you use whichever one supports your message. I took this picture of a ball and rotated it clockwise or counterclockwise. In the first case, it looks like the ball is rolling downhill because it's going from left to right. This second one is less clear-cut. We might see it as rolling from right to left, especially if there were more room to roll. But it also could appear stationary with these lines receding in the distance from left to right. The eye path is the way the artist expects the viewer to read a painting. And they would say that we follow this body up to the head, the focus, and then exit through the paw. And this way is more difficult because we're going from right to left, or alternatively, we would have to use this little paw to get to the focus. The problem is we don't read pictures that way. We don't travel up this body and go da-da-da-da-da, and they go, wow, there's the head. No. Eye scan studies show that we look directly at the focus. And then we take little side trips around it. We don't follow eye paths. But I think eye paths help the artist arrange her drawing in a coherent way. Here are 4 images of a ball and a ramp. In this first one, it doesn't look like the ball has started moving yet. In the second one, we see all this area where the ball can move. So it looks like it will gain momentum, and there's maximum tension. In this third one, it looks like it's losing momentum, nearing the end. And in this last one, it looks like it's stopped by the edge, even though we don't see a barrier. The message in this image changes depending on how we crop it. In this first one, it's about speed and motion because we leave room in front of the horse to run. The second one is a balanced study of the boy and the horse. Cutting off the nose of the horse is never a good idea. If you're going to cut or crop, make sure it looks intentional. In this picture, it looks like they're going so fast that we barely caught them in the picture. But also don't crop at the neck or any joint because it may make the horse appear headless. Don't have a strong horizontal line, especially one that goes from one end to the other. The viewer just follows it, and it distracts him from the rest of the painting. Examples are a tabletop in a still life and a gate. If you have a horizontal table edge, partially cover it with a cloth, usually on the right. Now, I don't agree that we put the cloth there to block the exit, since the viewer can exit a painting any time. But we do follow strong lines from right to left, and this is a way to soften that hard line. A closed gate indicates exclusion, and that's reinforced here by the dark shapes and the austere horizontal and vertical lines. Alternatively, the message could be about trapping, enforced here by dark, dull colors and values. But most of the time, we shouldn't use a closed gate. When the artist expects a viewer to climb over a gate, he's being unreasonable. So open the gate and let the viewer look in the distance. These diagonal lines emphasize that opening. We should be aware of the message we're sending. There are 3 main types of lines. There are horizontal lines, vertical, and diagonal. And they each have their inherent attributes. Horizontal lines add calmness and stability to an image, but can also flatten it. Vertical lines, emphasized here by the vertical format and the man looking up, suggests dignity, stability, but also tension because there's the possibility of falling. and diagonal lines add energy and tension to the image. These are the dominant lines in the pictures, but not the only lines. For example, there are some mild diagonals here and even some verticals. There are many types of diagonal lines. This first one doesn't change in width, so it's unbalanced and dynamic. We know it's unbalanced because here we need a ball on this side to balance the diagonal going in this direction. Actually, the ball should be a little more over here, I think. Now, if the diagonal gets thinner, it suggests movement and direction because it's pointing. So it's pointing in the distance. And this ball definitely needs to be moved down here to balance it. A jagged line suggests tension and anxiety, and a curve depends. The more it bends, the greater the force and tension. And it also suggests things like this suggests exclusion. The ball is outside of the curve. And this one suggests inclusion as it wraps around the ball. Hogarth talked about lines of beauty, how curvy a curve should be. He thought that this one was too straight and this one bulged too much. He chose number 2 here for a well-formed man, and number 4 is just right for a well-formed woman. A cross composition has 2 intersecting lines, and the focus is usually near the intersection. Imagine trying to show the movement of a windmill. This configuration would appear motionless, and this one appears stable, whereas this one is the most unstable, suggesting impending movement. As this horizontal bar is raised, it acquires increasing visual weight. This one is balanced, whereas this one looks top-heavy. I chose for this picture the unstable arrangement and made the angles obtuse and acute rather than the more rigid right angles. And a cross composition could also be more relaxed, like this iris. These fish look flexible because they're composed of curves, because the front and back seem to reverse, like here, and because the lines are thin, light, and broken in places. If we had thick, solid lines instead, it would ruin the apparent flexibility. Line expression is very important. These suggest drops. This one suggests that it's grounding this vertical line. It can suggest forces like tension, recoil, or bursting. It can suggest certain moods, and it can suggest things like reflections or these V's that are either birds or grass. If you have little V's in the sky, we know what they are, and it's much better and simpler than drawing little birds. This shows the importance of line expression. It's a picture of the Li River in China, which is known for these unusually shaped mountains that look like upside-down teacups. And if you drew these shapes, they wouldn't be readable as mountains, because mountains should have sharp angles and straight lines, and you should have the shapes be abstract representations of the subject, although you can distort them to express character and gesture, but they shouldn't be round like this. Tangents are lines that are ambiguous. So is this the tail of the deer in back or the horn of the deer in front? And I've got to admit, every time I see this, I get a little pain in my you-know-where. And then here, is this rod coming out of the dog's head? Once we see a tangent like that, it's hard to unsee it, and it can ruin a picture. And it fights against depth, bringing this rod into the same plane as his head rather than being behind him. If we saw the rod continue on the other side, it would help, but softening the rod definitely puts it in the background. My next video will be about interesting shapes, and please remember to subscribe.